Welcome back to another episode of the Straight Candid podcast. I'm here at Crisp and Green. We're sitting so far getting ready to coach an entire group of fans. This is an exciting day for the podcast. We're excited to be here. And if you're not able to make it to this event, that's okay. Because in a few moments, we're going to bring on fans from the event and they're going to be talking about their favorite Straight Candid moments, some of their personal candid moments, and stuff that they want to see in the future. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. All right, so we're here with Sammy. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Doing fantastic. We had a few questions I got to ask you, and the first one is going to be, why do you listen to Straight Candid? What got you into it?
So I'm friends with the Back Pocket Boys. That's why I listen. But honestly, they're just so real and raw. If I had the guts, I probably would have started my own podcast with the same sort of stuff, just being candid and, reaching out to women. It's awesome.
Absolutely. Being candid is something that we definitely love over at Straight Candid. And because of that, we have a lot of great episodes where we have a lot of great candid moments. Do you have any particular favorite candid moment or just a favorite episode in general?
I really liked when they had Vanessa on. I think she was just real and raw, and she just had a lot to say too, and a lot of women wanted to hear what she had to say. So it was really cool.
Absolutely. Vanessa was an amazing guest. We hope to get her back on soon. And then the last question I got for you is, what do you want to hear next? So what are some future topics that you might want to hear?
I think it'd be awesome to hear from a badass businesswoman of just someone that's super high up in the corporate world or something like that. And just kind of how she got there and maybe just her struggles too.
Absolutely. That sounds like a great idea. Well, Sammy, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. I appreciate it. What's your name?
Lainey.
Nice to meet you, Lainey. I'm Marcus. I'm the producer for the Straight Candid podcast. I'm the producer for the Straight Candid podcast, and we're here to ask you a few questions to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of Straight Candid. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Perfect. So what got you into Straight Candid? Why do you listen?
Well, actually, I went to Alter and saw them. I also go to Chanhassen High School where Sid went. So I kind of knew the name from there. And then I listened to it. This is very relatable. Gets me a good laugh. Just pumps me up.
Exactly. And having a good laugh is something that we always love to have on the podcast.
Oh, for sure.
Do you have any specific favorite episode that you have that makes you just laugh a lot?
I don't know the episode, but my favorite Straight Candid moment is Sid breaking her window.
That's a fantastic moment. Yep, definitely one of the funnier ones. We also did a social post for that, and that was just hilarious.
Yes.
So with the Straight Candid podcast, we're coming up on a year, and we have more content coming out soon. What are some things that you'd like to hear next on future episodes?
Oh, geez. I feel like they've covered everything. I really do.
Right. They covered a lot of topics. Is there one in particular that you really, really like that you might want to hear more about?
I would say getting into fitness.
Getting into fitness?
Yeah, their fitness jobs and all that.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Those are some great topics. Well, that sums up all of the questions that we have today. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yes, thanks for having me.
All right. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. What's your name?
Ivy.
Ivy,
Yes.
nice to meet you. I'm Marcus. I'm the producer of the Straight Candid podcast, and we're coming up on a year of Straight Candid. It's been amazing for the crew, and it's been amazing for our fans. So I got some questions for you. What's something that you really love about Straight Candid, or what got you to listen?
What got me to listen is my sorority sister, Taylor Kay. Her sister is obviously one of the main people on the podcast. So she was always telling all of us, you need to listen to my sister. She's so inspiring. She's like a big sister to all of us. So then we all started listening in Kappa Kappa Gamma, and we all fell in love. And now I religiously listen to their episodes. So it's been super fun.
Gotcha. So since you religiously listen to it, do you have any favorite episodes or any favorite moments?
My favorite episode is the vagina episode. I think that's a fan favorite between all of us because it's just some taboo topics that shouldn't be taboo. So it's exciting to learn about things that you don't talk about in school. So they're the big sisters of all of us. So it's been fun.
Yeah, exactly. We love talking about taboo topics, making things candid, just keeping it straight. So because of that, do you have any questions or any topics that you'd want to hear on future episodes? Anything that hasn't been talked about or anything that might still be considered taboo that we haven't covered yet?
Yeah. I can't think of anything taboo right now, but some things that my favorite episodes to listen to are always the health and wellness ones. I always listen to the Skinny Confidential as well. And I love how they always cover health and wellness and have doctors on and dermatologists and stuff like that. So I think anything like that would just, I know they already do that, but a little more. I love it. So
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like a fantastic topic. We'll get right on that.
Awesome.
All right. Well, that's all the questions I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Welcome to the 1-year anniversary of Straight Candid. We got a few questions lined up for you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, we are.
Perfect. All right. So the first question that we have is, what got you guys into Straight Candid, or why do you guys listen?
So I actually listened. So her younger sister, I'm in a sorority with, and so she got me into it, and I really liked it a lot because it just is like really like relatable stuff, and I enjoyed listening to it, and they're hilarious too, and so it's just nice to listen to.
Yeah, honestly, for the same reason, Taylor K over there got us hooked on it, and we just love hearing about it too.
Totally. And I feel like all the content is very relatable too. So just like listening about life struggles or just kind of like how to be a girl within the society, I feel like it's really helpful to listen to this podcast.
Do we love relatable episodes, making sure that people feel like they're a part of the crew? Do you have any favorite episodes or favorite moments on the show?
I'm gonna say the vagina episode, definitely.
I think that's a top one. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, just like that was such a fun episode to listen to, and like again, relatable. So
I know, on a serious note, like something like vaginas, I feel like that's not like a hard topic or maybe like uncomfortable, and they just have a way of like making it more like relatable and turning it into like a funny way, and it's just that what makes it so enjoyable to listen to.
I would agree. I think I'm going to re-listen to that episode later today as well.
For sure. Those are some great episodes. We love it. What are some future topics that you guys would love to hear on the show?
I'm really excited for the 1 year. I think that's going to be really fun, and hopefully we'll be in that one as well.
I can't really think of anything off the top of my head, but I don't know. I just keep going with the relatable and like the type of topics that you like think that you're alone with. They really bring to life and show like, hey, we're all in this together, and I really like that.
yeah, I was just gonna say like stuff that we all can like relate to, like maybe things that maybe are uncomfortable with, and like you think that you're like she said you're alone in, but everyone's obviously going through the same thing, and just hearing people's like takes on like how to get through rough times and struggles and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Those are the 3 questions that we have today. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
Love Straight Candid.
Yes, we love Straight Candid.
So we got a few questions for you guys today. We're celebrating the 1-year anniversary of Straight Candid. Thank you so much for joining us. What's your names?
My name's Abby.
I'm Nikki.
Nice to meet you guys. I'm Marcus. I'm the producer of Straight Candid. And we're going to jump into a few questions here. We have the first question, which is, why do you guys listen to Straight Candid, or what got you into it?
So I listened to Straight Candid. My old roommate told me about it. And honestly, I just love hearing 2 girls shoot the shit, be completely honest. Like they don't filter anything out. And I love that because I feel like nowadays everything is so filtered and you never know what's true or what's not. And they are.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Do you have a favorite moment or a favorite episode?
I'm actually new to listening to Straight Candid. So Abby got me into got me started on listening to Straight Candid today. Just I like the energy, that vibe that they gave me from the workout is just like really wants me to like go out and listen to them.
Perfect. Well, since you're a new listener, is there any like new topics that you'd like to hear on the show? It can be anything. We talk about taboo topics. We try to make sure that we just try to keep it candid. That's the big thing that we do on Straight Candid.
Not off the top of my head that I can think of, just because like I don't know what they all have talked about so far. I'm just
Sure.
like excited to listen to like what they have to say.
Absolutely. And do you have any future episodes or future topics that you'd like to hear in future episodes?
Oh boy, there's so many different things.
So many.
So I love astrology. Would they ever talk about that? Talk about our different signs, Virgo, Aquarius? That's what I'd like to hear.
Absolutely. I know we talked about it a little bit with Vanessa when she was on the podcast. We had 2 episodes with her and we talked about it a little bit. We don't dive too deep into it though. So it's definitely something that we should have in the future.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for being on the show. Oh, favorite episode, guys. Sorry about that.
No worries. Okay, I would say my favorite episode was with Antonio, I believe, and we talked about the mental health. I really liked that one. It really hit the feels, and there were a lot of good tips from that.
Absolutely. Antonio's a great guy. If you haven't listened to that one, I highly recommend checking it out. All right, guys. Well, that's it for the episode. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Dad, why do you listen to Straight Candid?
I think it's interesting. I think they have relevant things to say. And plus, she's my daughter and she's kind of funny as well.
I would say I listen. Well, she's my best friend, but it's pretty good. I like it. I've always listened and it's just fun to see them grow. And I don't know.
Absolutely. Do you guys have any favorite moments?
I
know there's so many.
I like the moms when the moms are on. I thought they were hilarious and honest, and I thought that was very interesting.
I don't know. There's so many good ones and good like times during the episode. I just like seeing the banter, and I think that they really do keep it candid, so it's just fun to watch. Even though I feel like not just because she's my sister, just because they're good people and they have a lot to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you guys have any like topics that you'd like to see in the future, or any taboo topics that we haven't talked about on the podcast yet?
I'm waiting for the dad's episode.
I don't know. I just want to keep it coming with whatever they got.
Fantastic. All right, guys, thank you so much for being on the show. Those are the 3 questions that we have. Because you guys have been on the show before, or at least because you've been on the show before, do you have any Straight Candid moments?
Ooh, I have so many. I have to think.
I know I kind of put you on the spot, so it's
no,
okay.
I know it's okay. I need to think for a sec. Do you have any?
I don't.
I need to think. I'm really like bad at thinking. Hold on.
Besides the top showing up today.
Oh yeah. I don't know.
That's okay. Yeah, no worries at all. No worries at all. Well, if we don't have a Straight Candid moment, then that's all we got for you.
Perfect.
Thank you guys so much for being on the show. All right. What's your name?
My name's Megan.
Megan, nice to meet you on
Nice
Marcus.
to meet you.
Thank you so much for joining us here to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of Straight Candid.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Perfect. We have a few questions that we're going to line up for you. The first one is, why do you listen to Straight Candid, or what got you into it?
My brother's girlfriend actually introduced me to it, and I started at the very beginning, like 6 months ago, I bet. And I've listened to every single episode, and I'm obsessed. And my boyfriend and I just moved to the North Loop, and I felt so like inspired by Sid and Soap and like empowered to do that because of listening to the podcast. So I like love them so much.
Absolutely. You said you listened to all the episodes?
I have.
Do you have a favorite episode?
I think my favorite episode was the boat episode. Like, I got to hand it to him for the creativity. That is amazing.
The boat episode was a ton of fun to film. Definitely. It was one of my favorite episodes to edit as well. And do you have any topics that you'd like to hear next on the show, or anything that we haven't talked about yet that you'd like to hear in the future?
I think I would love to hear more just about like mental health, and even like through like college experiences and just growing up, and how mental health has evolved for like people our age and something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, mental health is something that we definitely love to talk about on the show. We had Antonio Sundquist on I don't remember which episode it was, but he was on an earlier episode. We talked about it a little bit then, but it's definitely something we should bring back in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that wraps up all the questions I have here, but I heard you had a story. Did you already tell it, or would you like to share?
A little bit, yeah. Just my story was mostly about like how I was so scared to move to the North Loop, even though it's like something I've always dreamed of. And then like listening to the podcast made me feel like I could do it, and it gave me the push to do it. So I'm super grateful for that.
Absolutely. Are you from the Minneapolis area?
Yeah, I live like in the western burbs. My parents do.
Gotcha. What was the thing that like pushed you out, other than Straight Candid, to get you out?
I think just listening to their stories from down here, I was like, okay, like they're real people. They could do it. They have candid moments down here. I can like struggle too. It's going to be okay.
Exactly. I know this is kind of putting you on the spot, but we do have Straight Candid moments, as you've heard on the show. Do you have any Straight Candid moments for this week?
Oh my gosh. My Straight Candid moment this week, I had a horrible gum infection and I'm on antibiotics, and it has been the worst week ever.
Oh no.
But it's okay. Like 3 trips to the dentist, a couple minor procedures, and I think I'm on the mend.
Perfect.
There's my Straight Candid
Yeah,
moment.
no, that's absolutely a great one. All right. Well, Megan, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. We're going to be producing this and having this out hopefully by the end of next week. But that wraps up all the questions. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
What's up?
Not much. Thank you so much for joining us for the 1-year anniversary of Straight Candid. It's great to see you guys again.
Woo, we're so happy to be here.
Absolutely. Both of you guys work on the podcast in some way, shape, or form, and we started about a year ago. Do you have any favorite moments since you started working with Straight Candid?
Favorite moments? I have a favorite episode right away. I remember I loved the cancel culture episode. Like they were just talking about like, hey, we know we're gonna like slip up and say something that's not, totally maybe like PC or whatever, but like it's important to be talking about these conversations that they're having and stuff. So I just like admire so much their candidness and like, willingness to just talk about whatever under the sun and, learn as they go, just like all of us listeners are. So, but I just love these gals. So they're probably my favorite moments of it all for sure.
Easily. Just them being themselves on the podcast has been unreal. They've been so open and like raw with us, and it's really fun to watch the recordings and just be there and like see the process in itself. I'd probably say my favorite episode is them talking about like how to make friends and like this weird limbo of like coming out of college and like going into adulthood and
so real.
Figuring out your place in life.
So real.
During that time, for sure. Yeah, I think everybody can kind of relate to that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there any future episodes or future topics for episodes that you guys would like to see covered?
Ooh.
I love when they talk about like navigating careers, since they both have a two like very different, kind of path. Like Sid is more like the 9 to 5 and she's like super passionate and super hardworking, but then Soph's doing a little more unconventional thing with fitness and everything. And I love that. So maybe just like as they continue to navigate that in their lives, I'd love to hear more about that and how they balance it, how they balance doing so well with work and the podcast. And like, they're obviously super social and, still getting out there dating or having, a partner and stuff like that. So really just like, how they navigate mid-20s, because it is a crazy, crazy time for sure.
Yeah, I'd probably say the same. I mean, I'm just excited to watch them grow. Like even in the past, however many episodes this past year, we've really gotten to see them like form into a different person. I mean, everybody is so ever changing.
Yeah.
Like I'm a different person I was a week ago than I am today. And I think that's what I'm most excited for, is not necessarily a certain episode or topic, but to just like watch them evolve throughout, like the next couple of years or however long they keep the pod. And it's super cool.
I also definitely need another Dr. Sarah OBGYN episode for sure.
Yes,
if she's
bring her back.
watching. Yeah, bring her back.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
She was one of my favorite episodes to actually edit. And
I'm
I think
so
that was one of
glad
our
you
best
listened to
performing
it.
ones. Yeah. Yeah, of course. I
Everyone
listened to all of
should
them.
listen to it.
Everyone
should listen to it.
especially men or people who date women or people that have vaginas, whatever,
Exactly. That episode's definitely for everybody. That wraps up all the questions that we have here. Is there anything else that you guys like to say while you're on the mics?
Keep it candid.
Yeah, I'm super thankful to be on this team and like work with such creative individuals. And I feel like we're all constantly like pushing each other to work harder. And I mean, like we've created a little family here. Like it's unreal. And even seeing today how this event has come to life and how many people are so excited to be here. And so many people were like, I feel like I'm like talking to a celebrity, and they are. They're the best.
Oh, retweet. Hi, guys. How are we doing over here?
Hey,
Good.
I could like lick your face right now.
I'm so happy that you guys came. We're so appreciative of you both. I love you
we
both
love
so
you guys.
much. We love you. Okay. Goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. How they always That's like the Straight Candid. Bye. Yeah.
Before we hop off the mics, I got one last question for you guys. Since we all work on the podcast, what's your guys' Straight Candid moment for the week? That's a hard one. So if you guys need to take the time, like a second to think about.
Okay, I have a really like raw Straight Candid moment. So this week, I'm just gonna keep it short. I had to put in a tampon while I was in the car driving on 35W this week. So I hope everyone can relate to that. I like left the house, realized I was like, shit, I didn't put one in. And I had to put a tampon in while I was driving.
You got to do what you got to do.
What was I wearing? Thankfully, a dress. So it was easy. It was easy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
a good one.
I almost like wanted to message them and be
35W.
like, has anyone else ever done this? Because that's what I feel like was really candid.
I think I probably have once in my life. I guess my Straight Candid moment, I have been deep cleaning my basement. I've been starting to see someone and they're coming over to my house for the first time.
Ooh.
And I live like with my parents, so it makes it like even just more
How'd you
awkward. Just like around.
Mutual friends or
like mutual friends. Slid
the
in his
old-fashioned
DMs.
way. You slid into his DMs.
Yep.
I love that.
Ooh. Well, that's fantastic. That's definitely a great moment.
Very different Straight Candid moments, but both very relatable.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode.
Thanks so much,
Woo!
Marcus.
Thank you, guys.
Happy 1 year.
All right, Sam, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us for the 1 year anniversary.
Yay.
Perfect. We have a few questions lined up for you today. The first one is, what got you into Straight Candid, or why do you listen?
I listen because most podcasts out there, it's like drags, drops. You never know what's really going on behind the scenes. You know, they have interviews, but you never really know what's actually real on them. And Sid and Soph are so candid.
just out there, and you know that their episodes are real. They're talking about things that most other podcasts just avoid, especially like mental health, the vagina episode. And so I just love how real and authentic they are.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that we love on the show. We just try to keep it candid. It's one of the things we do.
Exactly.
Do you have a favorite episode or a favorite moment?
I mean, it's my favorite episode is the vagina one,
Right.
with the gynecologist. I mean, I learned so much from it. I mean, obviously I go to the doctor, but I definitely want to get in with her because she is just so real and woke, I would say, you know, especially with this day and age, and women, it's tough to like find someone who's real about what's going on down there.
Yeah, exactly. That was one of my favorite episodes to actually edit and produce. There's a lot of good information on there. It's good for everybody to check it out if you haven't already. And the last question I have for you today is, what are some future topics that you'd like to hear on the show? Stuff that we haven't covered before.
Let's see. I don't know.
That's okay.
I don't have an answer, but I do have a straight candid moment, kind of. It's not that great, but I was in Arizona last week and straight up asked this one girl, because she had an iPhone 12. I was at a concert. She's like, hey, take a picture of me and my boyfriend. I was like, go for it. And I was there with a friend, and literally her picture looked so much better on my phone. I had her take a photo of me and my friend and then send it to me. Didn't know her, deleted her number after, but I needed that photo.
That's definitely a great straight candid moment. All right. Well, that wraps up all the questions that I have for you today.
Cool. Yay. Excited for 1 year episode.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Yay.